You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
We have returned. And first and foremost, super dope that we got some comments talking about, hey, where are you guys? We were waiting to see the next episode. That was dope, guys. I gotta say thank you for that. Of course, we were off our normal schedule because of the holiday. Hope everybody enjoyed their holiday, Thanksgiving. But that's when we were able to get Stranger Things back. And it's been a minute since Stranger Things, since we last seen the kids from Hawkins. And listen, I'm one of these people that I was really confused at why it takes so long. Really little upset about how long it's taking between seasons, and that's happened with other things. It happened in gaming. Grand Theft Auto was supposed to come out next summer, 2026, and now it's been pushed back to fall of 2026. And it's crazy because they'll say, oh yeah, this is coming out in 2026, but then it's the end of 2026. So it's like, that's a whole year. You know what I mean? It's not coming out in January. It's coming out the end of 2026, which is practically 2027. Same thing with the Batman 2. The script was taking forever. They finally got around to, announcing when they're going to start shooting. They're starting to cast, as you may have heard. But yeah, we finally got Stranger Things back. And when these things, again, the fans are really going to complain and be upset that it's taking so long. You hear the jokes, oh my God, these kids are going to look like they're in their 40s already. But I will say this, when it's something this good and it takes a long time, once you get back into it and it maintains that level that they've had with the previous seasons, you forget that it's taken so long to come back out. Because these 4 episodes, and look, if they're milking it, they want to stretch it out as long as possible, that's fine. I get it. It's a moneymaker. This is a hit for freaking Netflix. This is a hit for them. So I of course the disappointment, because as a fan, I want to see the finish of the story, but at the end of the day, I understand what they have to do. And dropping 4 episodes on Thanksgiving, and 4 bangers to me, because I've seen it twice. I watched it all again last night. So we'll start again like any other season premiere. It's kind of picking up the pieces of what happened in the finale of the previous season. So and they tend to start out slow. So this one, the first episode was The Crawl. So Puba, now I went, I've been yapping about delays and everything, and that was my joke. 2025 is the year of announcing delays for things for next year. So things that were supposed to come out, they're being delayed, and this is the year that they're announcing all that. But we finally got Stranger Things again, end of 2025. So if they told you, hey, 2025 is coming out, yeah, it's the end of 2025. 2025.
I'm not believing them.
Almost 2026. And we get the finale. We'll get, I don't know how many episodes we're going to get on Christmas. It's a Christmas present from Netflix. And then New Year's Eve is the finale, which from what I read, it's going to be 2 hours long. So the finale is going to be a freaking movie, which is insane. And you think about these episodes, they're also longer. These are no 30-minute episodes. These are 50 minutes and better. So but yeah, 50 minutes and better. So I can imagine what Christmas is going to look like, and also what New Year's Eve is going to look like. That's the finale. 2 hours, so just sit down and prepare like you're going to watch a movie. But Puba, the first episode, chapter 1, is The Crawl. What did you think, man? What did you think of this episode? Again, you You waited just as long as everybody else.
Yeah,
Were
you know.
were you? Hold on. I got to ask you this. Were you no? Because I want to get your real reaction to this. How you felt about that? Like I said, I explained myself how I was frustrated with how long it took. Is that something that frustrated you as well?
You know, and I'll start off saying this. I was not watching Stranger Things at all. Like it was like I think 2 and a half seasons in, and I called you and I said, "Hey, is this even worth the watch?" And I remember you telling me, "Bro, you need to get on this." Kind of the same thing with Welcome to Derry in a sense for us as well. I was excited for this to come back. I was, and I was disenchanted with it. Did not care about it at all after it took so long. Like I didn't care for Stranger Things. It left its taste for Stranger Things left a long time ago. Like if they never did Stranger Things 5, I would have been okay with it. Seeing the way they look now, knowing that Millie Bobby Brown has a baby, it was like a little crazy. Again, makeup does a great job. We've talked about CGI, the way it makes people look. The only one that looks like they've aged the most is probably Lucas and Jonathan. Jonathan looks like he's 80 years old. Like he looks like he should be someone's grandfather in the series.
I think the wig makes him look that
It's
hairpiece.
horrible. That's pretty bad.
Horrible.
That's pretty bad. But no, the first episode for me, I snoozed on the first episode. I had to rewatch the first episode because I fell asleep. And again, having to tell this story so many years afterwards, to trying to kind of catch us up to where we were at, that was what kind of I was like, okay, I know a lot of this stuff already, but they're trying to catch us up. They're trying to do a good job of trying to catch us up and make it more relevant to us as it stands today. Dustin having to deal with Eddie's death and the way he's kind of in that first episode, the way he's just kind of roughing it out, not giving a care, wearing the Hell's Fire t-shirt, and them coming to attack him again. And it's great to see that, that the other guys between Mike and Will and Lucas, that, they're not dealing with these bullies anymore. They're not scared to face these bullies as they were in previous seasons. The high school, again, they all looked age. I was excited about Stranger Things. I really was. The first episode was meh to me. Like if we're grading this on a scale of 1 to 10, it was like a solid 6. But when they go to the next episode, that's when I was like, yeah, okay, you got me. You got the action kind of going on, things of that nature. But again, that first episode, yeah, they had to tell a story and they had to kind of catch us up of what the dynamic is of the kids, what the background is in Hawkins, the military. It felt kind of like Red Dawn, not the new version, but the original version when the Russians came and the kids are going to have to get together to actually battle in their own town. Kind of felt like that, but without the action, without all the action. Love the references to the snake, which is called Jake the Snake, which is a big 80s wrestler as well. And there's just a ton. And that's the greatest thing about Stranger Things. They do such a great job of the 80s pop culture. Bringing in Linda Hamilton from what's the name of the movie right now?
The
Terminator. Matthew Modine, Sean Astin, Paul Reiser, Robert Englund. Like they do such a great job of bringing these big 80 actors and bringing it into Stranger Things, that I wound up enjoying the show because it was nostalgic to me. But yeah, I enjoyed the first episode. Like I said, out of 6. But I had to rewatch it. I fell asleep. And again, I was watching it late, and I'm, not to show our age or anything, but I got old man eyes when I was watching that. But the rest of it, yeah, you could have put toothpicks like this. I was engaged the rest of the way. But it's great. It's great to see them. Again, we talk about dynamics on this show, about other episodes as well. And the dynamic of this crew, man, great job.
Well, and then, like you said, it kind of ramped up from the end of the first episode, The Crawl, going into the second episode with chapter 2, The Vanishing of Holly Wheeler. And I believe in season 1, it was The Vanishing of Will Myers. Well, I'll get that. We'll fact check that. But I believe it's very similar to that one. To when they The Vanishing of Will Myers was the first episode ever. Will Byers, I'm sorry. And that's Will and Nancy's younger sister. Obviously, she's older as well. But she the action definitely ramps up from the end of episode 1 to episode 2. Obviously, the title says it all, but there's a lot that goes on in this episode as far as how this episode gets that title. And like Puba said, that one he was engaged because there is more action. He did bring up the fact that the military is heavily involved as well. They're looking for Elle. They're looking for her. And I can't. You go ahead, Puba, because I don't want to start going all over the place.
No, but listen, it just mentioning that they're looking for Elle. There's a poster of looking for Jane Hopper. There's actually a phone number on there. Again, if you call that phone number, it actually does a whole Hawkins thing that they're looking for a Jane Hopper and all this other stuff. So pay attention to those things.
Well, it's not a wanted poster; it's a missing poster.
Missing poster. Sorry, I stand corrected. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want to put it out there that she's. I mean, she is. The military is looking for her, but they have her as she's missing, as a like in Derry as well. We Welcome to Derry. They were missing. Those are flyers of missing kids. This was the same thing as well, and there are some parallels to between in these two shows, Derry and Stranger Things. But again, this second episode is, and not to give away too much, the sister is, she's missing now. The younger sister's missing, and they're trying to get together to find her. Going back to the end of the first episode, Hopper is the one that is going into the Upside Down. The title of that episode is called The Crawl. That's what they call these missions when Hopper goes to the Upside Down. They're trying to locate Vecna or Henry. They're trying to locate him. They're trying to finish this once and for all. And him and Elle, of course, are bumping heads. She's a little bit older. They have a focus. She's definitely focused on ending it as well because of the way this season 4 ended. We lost Eddie. And Max is hanging on by a thread.
Oof.
Yeah, but the second episode is where it starts to ramp up with the action. There's more going on. Again, we said the military's involved. There's within the group, they're starting to have their own side missions. They're tracking Hopper from the right side up with the tracker. And it's just there really is a lot going on. Robin has
Rockin' Robin.
He has a little bit of a secret that kind of gets exposed by Will, and he's struggling with it because the difference here, and Will was kind of it was explained that he was going to be the focal point as well of this season. And it's because he's kind of like an entry point for Vecna. He's having these type of flashbacks, doing these seizures, and he's able to see through the eyes of the Demigorgon, which is a little weird.
Well, can I say something about that, Pete? Because I think when I saw that again, I know you're not a Potter guy, right? A Harry Potter guy, but no. I am in that sense of that nature. But I've seen this before, right? Where Harry Potter, because he got that scar on his head, he got it from from Voldemort, and Voldemort has a snake, and he's able to see through those snakes' eyes. So again, just in that sense of that nature, when I saw that, boom, I said, "Yo, I've seen this before," and it just reminded me of Harry Potter when he was able, because of the connection that he has with Voldemort. Same thing with Will here, with his connection with Vecna, and. Man, I mean, I know we threw up the slugs in prior seasons, but it going in reminded me again of Aliens when the big queen was getting the eggs and it was going through. And man, that was hard to see. I was like, oh man, he's just like, you can't even get a chance to swallow, right? And it's just going in and things of that nature. But Vecna has a plan here, and Will is part of it. Because again, and Lucas as well in that same second episode was like, Vecna does things on a purpose. Like, why didn't he why didn't the Demigorgon kill the little girl the same way it slashed mom and dad? So Vecna has a plan here.
Yes.
And of course, I don't want to jump ahead to the last episode, but when Vecna's collecting these kids and collecting Holly, and Holly's missing for the most part, I thought Holly was good, but it's not the case, of course, and we'll get where she's at, where her mind is at, things of that nature. But again, brilliant writing. I forget the name of the brothers that actually direct this stuff, but the Duffer brothers. They do such a great job of not only just casting but the storyline. And yeah, listen, the dad not paying attention, golfing outside, but he came in, and I gotta give props to Holly's mom. Like, she broke that bottle and was going. I thought she had it. I thought she had the Demigorgon, like just bashing the edge of that broken bottle into the Demigorgons. Like the mom, like we talk about bad parenting and good parenting. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, this is good parenting.
Well, she was getting drunk and going into the tub.
There's nothing wrong with that. Her having a drink.
But how dope was it? Again, the edge, the things that I like about episode 2 was the fact that when the Demigorgon was going through the bathroom, going through the closet, and they were underneath the bubbles. Eesh. Did you notice, Mr. Bubbles, the pink bottle? I listen. I was like, how do I get another bottle of that back in the day? I used to love Mr. Bubbles.
eBay.
eBay and Amazon, I think. But the way the mom was holding the daughter's breath, man, so intense, so great. It was really intense, and that's all you could ever ask of Stranger Things is like, can you make this as intense like you did in prior seasons, even though it's such a delayed in the sense of this next season 5, but they did a great job of that, man. And even the way 11 jumped into the upside down world. It was just crazy. I loved it all, man. The visuals were just great. They spared no budget on this. They put some money into this because it looks so much better than other prior seasons.
But again, we know this is Netflix's. This is Netflix's baby. Another thing that Lucas, what you were touching on was Lucas said, I don't believe in coincidences as far as Vecna's concerned. So he does have a plan, and it does involve the kids, which is odd because, again, that's why I bring up the similarities from Derry and Stranger Things is the focus on the abducting the kids. And so we go into season episode 3, chapter 3, the Turbo Trap. Now, this is where there's some comedy here. There's some comic relief here, because they're trying to protect the kids. Obviously, Molly was abducted, so they discover that the next kid on Vecna's list is this kid named Derek, whose nickname is Dipshit Derek. So they want to save him to keep him from Vecna, Henry. So they come up with the plan. Lucas's sister is involved because she's the one that can get into the house. They come up with this plan, this crazy idea of kidnapping the entire family to protect the kid, because we also see that is, that's his focus. He's focusing on the children in the town. Again, Derry, Hawkins, those are not places I would suggest that you go, relocate to.
Get out of there.
Yeah, you should be leaving. The population number should be going down on the sign for those two spots. But their plan is this. Now, what Pooba brought up in episode 2, after they discovered that the Demigorgon was headed to their house, 11 went there with Nancy. So after everything went down, 11 was the one who followed the Demigorgon into the Upside Down to try to find Holly. And of course, she meets up with Hopper, who doesn't want her there. He didn't want her there at the beginning, and they end up there together anyway. Now, one interesting part of this is the fact that, like we said, the military is looking for 11, and they have a way to they have a kryptonite for her. They have a way to weaken her, which is something that wasn't expected here. So, Puba, the turbo trap. Again, we have a lot of things going on. So what did you think of when Elle met up with Hopper?
For anybody that's ever lost a kid to cancer, right? You have to understand Hopper's pain point about this, and they show this throughout the episodes. Of course, when Hopper's kind of reflecting back on his past, he can't lose another kid. Like, he just can't. We saw this, of course, in prior episodes as well, because they've talked about this. But I get it. But Hopper's also being a little bit ignorant, because Elle is their biggest weapon. I mean, up until episode 4, of course, but Elle is their biggest weapon, and he's just absolutely frightened that she's found, that she's caught. I love the sonic sound weapons on the trucks. Reminded me of the Hulk movie when they used it on the campus on the Hulk. I guaranteed you thought about that for a moment there as well. I went there as well. Love the way they use those cannons on the Hulk. Very cool that you kind of just you put that in her because she's so powerful. If you could just disrupt her for a second and keep that going on, it hurts her. But man, I got to give props to Millie Bobby Brown on this one, and the way she's hurting when those cannons are on are great. Loved it as well. The wall, when they came in episode 3, I think they showed the wall. I went back to Game of Thrones, the wall, the ice wall in Westeros. So, it was great to see that as well, to that nature. But there's something there, because we know the upside down world, there's no water. And I'm not sure if you heard, when the guy was taking a whiz on the wall, it was sizzling.
Yes.
So there's something there with water where, again, we'll go back to Welcome to Derry. It loves the water because he's always in the sewers. Where here in the upside down world, I think there's something to do with water and things of that nature. I also want to touch about a wrinkle in time with Holly, of course, being taken as well, and the reference to that as well. I know, and I think it was the first season, they made a reference to X-Men. And the same thing when her brother, Mike, gives her the charm, reminded me, and again, because I'm not sure if you saw some of the trailers. So in the trailers, there's doors, which I think his sister, Holly, is going to be able to, kind of that magic person that he gave her, is going to be able to open up doors. Remind me of Magic, of course, Magic with a K, which is Colossus's sister. Again, just some of those things in the 80s. And I think, was it Will that asked Mike that he was going to borrow his X-Men comic book 134 or something like that? Again, just all these things that are happening. But yeah, when it comes back to Hopper, man, I again, just going back, and I think they showed it in episode 3. I don't want to jump too much ahead. And when he went and grabbed the stuff to the dynamite.
We are in episode 3 right now.
Yeah. So that is crazy as well. But I really enjoyed the kid, the fat kid.
Okay, so yeah, dipshit Derek.
Derek, but you know what? He's coming through, man. He's coming through, but he's hilarious. Like, you gotta give.
Yeah. Well,
he has no hair on his tongue.
I did explain it that this is some comic relief because he was a jerk. He's the jerk from school, and the way they realized he was next was because, of course, we spoke about Will's connection with Vecna, and he's seeing through their eyes because he's Mr. What's It. That's his alias to the kids. But the way he figured out where to go was because his first vision was Holly was laying down on a merry-go-round and she was going around. He said the sky was spinning, but it was spinning because he was seeing it from her perspective. How did we figure out it was Derek? He's walking and he just pushes some kid for no reason at all. And then the kid says something to him and he gives him the finger. And that's how they realized that it was Derek that was next. So that's when they came up with this plan to kidnap him, but not in a malicious way, but just to kidnap him, to keep him away from Vecna. But they, at the same time, they used this opportunity to come up with a plan to, the same way they're tracking Hopper in the Upside Down, they want to track the Demigorgon in the Upside Down. So this kind of uses, they kind of use this opportunity to set a trap and to track this Demigorgon when he goes back to the Upside Down. Again, we're just talking about it. You're going to see the way they've done it, and we may be giving away what they're doing, but when you see how it's done, you see how it's shot, the performances from the actors, we're really not really saying much, but we're covering it and telling you how good it is, that it is worth a watch. I can't wait till Christmas, and not for getting any gifts. I want to see the rest of Stranger Things.
Now,
go ahead,
Pete,
what you say?
Pete, apologies, talking about comedy relief, Brett Gelman, who plays Maury.
Yes.
Yeah, love him. He's hilarious. But he's going under an alias of Austin Milbarge. Do you know what that's from?
I do not.
That's Dan Aykroyd's name in Spies Like Us.
Wow.
So because he's being transporting and he's being a spy, he goes
That's
under
funny.
Austin Milbridge, which is actually Dan Aykroyd's name in Spies Like Us. I love that movie as well.
That's cool. Good. That's a good, nice.
When I heard that, only because I love the movie, I remember that.
Yeah, I did not know about that link between Murray's name and Murray's alias, because he is transporting, stuff back and forth. They are under quarantine because of what happened in the last season. So yeah, they use this opportunity so they can track a Demigorgon the same way they're tracking Hopper when he goes back into. But they say he flipped when he goes back, right? He flipped.
Yeah,
that's the term they're using. So yeah, when the Demigorgons flip, they're using that opportunity to try to track him. And it's Steve, it's Jonathan, it's Dustin, and Nancy. They come up with the idea to follow him through, I guess, the portal or whatever that takes him back to the Upside Down, and they end up getting through.
I thought they were not going to make that jump from the car. I did not think they were going to do that. Like when the car went through the whatever it was to follow the Demigorgon. Another thing as well, again, 80s references. I'm catching it all the time. It goes 88 dB all the time. 88 dB. You see that a lot, and of course, because Rockin' Robin says "Great Scott," and of course she used the flux capacitor to confuse Winona Ryder as well. But they use the number 88 dB a lot, and of course it's because of Back to the Future. To get to make that jump, you need to go to 88 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So again, a lot of those 80 references. If you're not catching it, we'll let you know here on Nerds Podcast.
I thought it was 90. That's what that was the target.
They were trying to get to 95, but they show 88 a lot if you're paying attention. And then that's the thing that, again, things that I catch because I'm just trying to, and I watch things in slow motion sometimes. If I did I catch that correctly, I'll watch things in slow motion. But some of the things that I was able to catch.
So we go to chapter 4, which and for this part of season 5, they've given us 4 episodes on Thanksgiving. Chapter 4 is called The Sorcerer, and this is the longest episode of these 4. I think it's almost an hour and a half, and
the best one.
And it is without a doubt, and it's like a season finale, because season finales really are known to have all the bells and whistles of what the previous episodes are building up to. But this one didn't disappoint. This was really good. Everything's coming to a head, and they're in the Upside Down. There's two teams. There's there's Hopper and 11 in the Upside Down, and then there's the 4 that we spoke about earlier. They're in the Upside Down as well, and they've communicated with each other. And they're like, "How do you know this?" So we find out that now they're coming up with another plan to save the rest of the kids who are being collected by the military because they're aware of what's going on. So they want to stop any other kids from being abducted. So they're starting to collect these kids, and they put them on an army base. So they come up with this plan to try to save them, to get them out of there, because again, they're aware of what's going on, and they don't want any more kids missing. But I did miss one thing going to episode 4. So the house that you see where Vecna kind of reveals himself and tells his backstory in the last season, that's his kind of his base of operations. So he takes Holly there, and they speak about Derek. He kind of confirms that that's the next target, and he leaves her to go do his thing. And he says, "Listen, just promise me one thing: you don't go into those woods right there." And what does she do? But what happens is the whole house is hers. She's doing her thing. She's a little girl. She's playing dress up. She's baking. She's doing all these things. And then, so Puba, what did you talk to me about? What happened there?
The first thing that I notice is when Holly is, of course, in the house and changing, the first yellow dress that she puts on, that is actually number one, Henry's sister's dress that we saw in previous episodes. Mm-hmm. And then the blue dress that she puts on, because she's in this upside down world, looked like Alice in Wonderland. She looked kind of like Alice.
I got the Alice in Wonderland vibe.
And they show when she's going into the closet, I think they show it's like a picture of Alice in Wonderland, the Disney version of it. They show it there on there, because you got to think, right? She's in this upside down world. So then my question now is Max the rabbit in this sense for this episode, right? So yes, you're absolutely right. She gets the letter in the mail because she's getting the boombox, the little pink boombox with her favorite singer on there with the tape. Again, 80s references. We didn't have CDs. We didn't have DVR. We didn't have any of the streaming services at all. We actually had to sit on the radio, if you remember, and hit record if you wanted to hear your song. So again, just real quick, 80s, all that nostalgic references as well. But she gets this, image drawn out of "Meet Me Here," making it seem like it's Henry or Mr. What's-It in this case scenario.
Sign it. They did sign the letter Henry.
Yeah, they did sign the letter Henry, and she was confused, of course, because she was like, "But Henry
just said don't go there." He just told her, yeah.
Mixed messages all the way around. But curiosity of a kid, as we learned in a lot of these kid shows, from Derry to this, to Harry Potter and things of that nature, because again, they're just always on these journeys. Curiosity gets the best of her. So again, looking like Red Riding Hood with when she puts the yellow thing on her, kind of following that path as well. And she goes, meets where the cave is at, gets eerie, starts running, falls. Of course, that's the end of episode 3. That leads us into 4, where we see Max. And
Max was chasing her.
Yeah,
you left that part out. Max was chasing her.
Max was chasing her. But Max has been here for a minute.
Yes.
But Max has also figured it out that she's in Vecna's memories. And it's kind of crazy. I'm not sure if you picked it up, but when she looked through the eyeglass, and because it's kind of broken, and the way it looks like this, it's the same image when they walk out to look at outside of, like, it looks like Nevada, the that stuff.
Yeah,
it's the same image. If I'm guessing what's going on here, I'm thinking is Vecna or Henry, however you want to call him, there's some part of there where his innocence was lost and he's scared, hence he won't go into the caves.
But yeah, he is very and again, there's more similarities. The shard that was in the sewer that Pennywise was afraid of, he kind of put the brakes on the closer he got to the cave where Max is staying at. He can't go any further. And she said, I saw the look in his eyes. He was scared. Like he looked like he was in pain or he was scared, whatever. but that's her safe zone. There's no way he's touching her there. But then go back to episode 4, like we said, everything comes to a head here. Max and Holly, they've decided to come up with their plan to escape, and we don't get really any more of that. But I don't want to really put too much out there because this is the finale. But Hopper and 11 end up getting to the military base. Won't go into what's in there because that's a spoiler. So we'll just leave you guys with that. They do infiltrate a military base in the Upside Down, where Lyndall Hamilton, Dr. K, not Dwight Gooden, the pitcher, baseball reference, but Dr. K. Her name is K-A-Y, Dr. K.
Another 80s reference. Good job.
Look at that. There you go. So, but 80s and baseball reference. So that's like a double whammy there. But we won't go into that because there's a spoiler. That is without a doubt a spoiler. The kids that they came up with the Will, Mike, Lucas, and Joanne, they come up with a plan to save the rest of the kids from the military base.
From the bathroom,
Yes. And that one kind of went left, but that's another spoiler as well. We're not going to tell you what happened there, but it's worth it. It's worth it. This episode was awesome. And again, it's the longest episode out of the 4, but they kind of tie everything together. But there are spoilers, and of course, it's going to go into the episodes that we receive on Christmas. So I don't want to say too much about that. Pooba, any final thoughts on? I'll say episode 4 because we kind of went through the first 3 episodes. So
just great job bringing this back. Like, just for us who've complained about this took too long, they really did a great job of putting us back into the seat and getting us in the car and driving us there and taking us to that story again. I understood why we complained, why this took so long to get here, because it is that good.
Yeah.
It's just that good. So, kudos to them. Kudos to the storyline. Curious to how this is all going to play out. But for those that love Stranger Things and did not want to watch this because they were just kind of boycotting it because it just took too damn long, stop it. Go watch it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, listen, I forgot about how long it took because it was just that good. I was like, I don't even care. I don't even care anymore. That's what's going to happen with Grand Theft Auto.
I do want to say one thing about episode 4. When Vecna comes out and shows himself, it reminded me of the end of Rogue One, where Vader comes out and just showing what he can do. Like that is it. That moment took me to at the end of Rogue One. Like it is really great to see.
I did read that scene was inspired by Rogue One.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. Now that you bring it up, I did read that was inspired by Rogue One. But
some Star Wars anytime.
I'll see if I can fact check that because it could have been that could have been somebody's comment and it could have been something like you just said. It took them back to that, or maybe I read it wrong. But we'll fact check that. But that is a good point. That it definitely had. Now that I think about it, that you say that, it did have that feel like this is him just kind of showing how powerful he was. But that we're gonna stop right there because again, if you haven't seen it, too deep into it. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. Again, I completely forgot. I don't even care how long it took because it was worth it. It was worth the wait. 4 great episodes. Don't know how much is coming on Christmas. And I know there's a 2-hour episode on New Year's Eve. Everybody, thank you for all your support. Everybody who has subscribed. If you have not subscribed, it's your first time here, please do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Thank you again, and happy holidays to everybody. I really do. Again, I appreciate the fact that people were like, "Hey, where are these guys?" That was really dope. That was cool. I appreciate that. I know Pooba does. Of course, we're still doing dairy. Stay tuned for that. So for Pooba, for myself, we will return.
The worst episode ever.